Welcome to the Orange County Department of Education College and Career Fair. My name is Jasmine. I'm going to serve as the facilitator for our session today. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping announcements. The first announcement, your camera and microphone are off, so our presenters are unable to see or hear you. Second announcement, you can use the Q&A feature in Zoom to type your questions to our presenters at any point throughout our session today. Third announcement, this is just one of a few different sessions that we are offering. So feel free to visit our registration site to sign up for additional sessions. And finally, this presentation is being recorded, and you can access that recording by visiting sharpscan.com/COSI. With all of that said, I want to go ahead and turn it over to our first presenter from the University of Southern Maine.
Thanks so much, Jasmine. Happy to kick it off. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to share my screen in just a second, and we will get started. All right. Fantastic. All right, so welcome everyone. We only have 6 minutes, so we'll get right down to it. This is a little bit about the University of Southern Maine, and just remember, everything tonight is just a taste, and there's a lot more exploration that you can do to these universities as well. So the University of Southern Maine, if you're interested in the East Coast, head on out. We are located right in the center of Portland, Maine, which is the most metropolitan area in the state of Maine. Just some fast facts about our campus. So we have about 8,500 undergraduate, graduate, and law students. So we are about mid-size for the New England region. We are a public university in the UMaine system, very similar to the University of California system or the Cal State system. 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio, 54 majors, things that include anything from exercise science, health sciences, prerequisites for medical school, dental school, occupational therapy, athletic training, things of that nature. But we also do have a variety of options for you to explore. So great programs in engineering, the arts, and different types of sciences as well. We have 3 campuses, which definitely makes us a little bit more unique, but we'll dive right into that, and I will talk about that in our as the presentation continues. And we have over 400 host sites and clinicals for clinicals and internships, and about a 3.31 average GPA for incoming first-year students this past year. So let's talk about those 3 campuses. So we are located in Portland, Gorham, and Lewiston, Maine, with our main campus being in Portland. But as a University of Southern Maine student, you are actually going to be taking classes and attending activities and classes in both Portland and in Gorham. So you apply to the University of Southern Maine. In Portland and Gorham, about a 20-minute commute between each campus. We are part of the Portland Metro bus system, which means that you have free access to and from our campuses, as well as the entire Southern Maine region. But the special thing about this is that Portland, obviously located in an urban downtown area, and with a beautiful view of the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, Back Cove, and a great just metropolitan area in general. And Gorham being much more of a traditional quintessential New England college campus, beautiful green spaces, historic buildings. And so students don't have to compromise when it comes to location. You can have both an urban and a rural experience within one university. And of course, we do have our Lewiston campus, which is about 45 minutes away from Portland. It really kind of serves a regional need for students. So when it comes to the academic experience at USM, all of our students are going to take a general education requirement or a core curriculum that really kind of makes a foundation and provides an opportunity for you to explore a variety of different programs before you really jump in. You don't have to know what you want to do right away. Then you can get into your major and your minor courses. And of course, internship experiences are going to be really important as you kind of work your way through your academic career. We really honestly, truly believe that the college experience very much happens in the classroom, but also very much outside of the classroom. And internships and external experiences are truly how you figure out what you want to do, and also most importantly, what you don't want to do. But we have ample amounts of opportunities for students to participate in undergraduate research, as well as a very active honors program as well. So when it comes to tuition and fees, we truly believe that going to college should be affordable and not a barrier. So out of state, as residents of California, you are going to be counting as out of state students. And we're looking at everything. So tuition fees, room and board at about $36,000 a year, which often falls below in-state tuition for a lot of California schools. So we do offer very generous merit-based scholarships. They range anywhere from $6,000 to $12,000 a year, and they would be renewable for 4 years. So a really great way to access your education, and a quality education at that if you're looking at schools on the East Coast. If you're a first-year student, if you're coming right from high school, that would be considered to be a first-year student. We are a Common App school, so you're welcome to apply through the Common App. It is $0 to apply. So I always encourage students that even if you're not sure, even if you haven't checked it out quite yet, feel free to throw an application at us. It's kind of the best way to kind of figure out what your options are at that point. We are SAT and ACT optional for all academic programs, including our nursing program. And all we really need is your high school transcript. We want to see how you've done in high school, but of course, if you'd like to send us some more information about who you are and a little bit about your story, we would love to see it. So that includes any essay, recommendation letters, extracurriculars, things that you've been doing for the last 4 years. And the last thing I always like to touch on is really exciting. So we broke ground this past spring on our Portland campus development project, which means that we are adding a beautiful new student center, dining hall, career and employment hub, and also a 600-bed Portland Commons residence hall for upperclassmen students. So a huge investment in our campus, but more so a huge investment in the success of our students. So we want them to have the best facilities possible. And so this is a great way for us to kind of expand the offerings that we have on our Portland campus. So feel free to connect with me. It's been great chatting with you. I'll put my contact information in the chat. Otherwise, have a great evening. And that's it for me.
Thanks, Julia. Our next presenter is from Washington and Jefferson College.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. My name is Marlinda Dowdy. I'm an Assistant Director of Admission here at Washington and Jefferson College. Give me a sec to share my screen and we'll get started with this presentation. So W&J, it's where change makers get their start. We really encourage students to, be different, get out there, explore. So what we start with too is explore W&J. Come to campus if you can. If not, we do virtual visits. Out-of-state students get a $2,000 visit grant, whether it's in person or virtual. So that's always really nice to add every year, up to 4 years. So W&J is located in Washington, PA. We're just about 30 minutes from the Pittsburgh airport. So really easy to get access to that, to get to and from home if you are far away, out of state in California. I actually just got back from California, so not too bad of a flight. But we're 30 miles south of the city, and it's really great. We have different ways that students can get to the city in order to take advantage of the opportunities that are there. That are there for them in terms of internship, research, whatever it may be, whatever program you are pursuing at W&J, there's always something in the area for you. For our academics, we are a 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio with 80% of our classes being about under 20 students. So it's always great for that one-on-one. You might walk into classes your junior and senior year with 5 or 6 students. That's just how it is once you get up to your upper class years. Another thing about academics is that 99% of our faculty hold terminal degrees. And we also like to highlight that 40% of our students participate in a travel experience each year. So not just once throughout the 4 years, but throughout their 4 years, they, every year, maybe twice a year. At W&J, our academics, we have 34 majors and 35 minors. I'm not going to leave this up too long. Please head over to the website, check it out. But W&J is actually really well known for pre-health and pre-law. So those are the 2 biggest pools for us. We have pre-law and pre-health affiliations with schools. So those agreements are great for our students. We just have a lot that they learn when they're with us here at W&J, and we fully prepare them for going into their next level of education. So we also have education, teacher certifications, engineering, and we just added University of Pittsburgh to our engineering partnerships, along with the other schools listed there. As I said, about 40% of students complete a study abroad. They do short terms during a J term, which is a short time before the spring and fall semesters. They can do semester long study abroad, or we have what we call a Magellan project, and students get to pick where they want to go, when they want to do this during the summer. It's help funded by the college. It's really It's just a passion project for the students. And I've had so many students tell me about their time abroad. And this Magellan Project is really what had like solidified them in being able to travel and go places and just having that experience. And it's so fantastic to hear their stories. We're Division III for sports. So if you are an athlete, please reach out to us. We can get you in contact with any coaches, and we do hold events on campus for students who are athletes. Other than sports, we do have 80 plus clubs and organizations here. There are 5 fraternities and 4 sororities. We have club and intramural, and there is a lot of diversity on campus. We were actually, percentage wise, we are higher than the national average for such a small school. So it's really great to know that we have that diversity coming in. And we also have performing arts for those students. Residence life, there's 28 residence halls here on campus. We have themed communities. The pet dorm is really popular with people. And then there's just suite style living, there's co-ed dorms, there's single sex dorms. So whatever you, how you want to live is great. We have a lot of centers for professional and career pathways. We really are making sure that you're ready to go. You're ready to get out there, get a job, get into the career field. So we really give you those opportunities ahead of time during the 4 years at W&J. Outcomes, again, this is a lot to read, but just to highlight one, 97% of our students from 2019 graduating class, they were in graduate school or they had been employed 6 months within graduating. So that's something to think about, those acceptance rates into schools. So how do you become a president? Our leadership application is free, but we're also on the Common App. The only thing we require is a high school transcript in the application. Everything else is optional, but it's always encouraged. Our accepted student profile. So the average SAT, ACT is 1180 and a 24. Average unweighted GPA for us is a 3.5. Our application deadlines are here. Also, again, all this information is on the website and you can always reach out to myself. I'll throw my email in the chat after this. So demonstrate some interest, get to know the school, visit W&J, whether it is, like I said, virtual or in person. And now to the important stuff. Our cost of attendance at $63,464, but our scholarships range from $24,000 to $34,000. Again, out-of-state students get a $2,000 visit grant. If you know an alum, there's another $1,000. So it really adds up. And if a 3.6 or higher is their unweighted GPA with leadership, you can potentially get the $34,000. So students love to talk about why they chose W&J. These are just 2 examples of hundreds of students that are willing to share their stories. So again, if you're interested in W&J, want to come to Pennsylvania, it's fantastic to get in touch with these alums and current students. So that's all I have, and I will put my information in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next presenter is from the University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy.
You. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, get this presentation up and running. There we go. All right, so my name is Sarah Jimenez. I am an admissions representative for the University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy in St. Louis, Missouri. I know a lot of people don't know where St. Louis is, so I like to tell people when I'm over here on the West Coast that St. Louis isn't too far from Chicago or Nashville. So we're over in the Midwest. And I have some photos to show you. This is downtown St. Louis. The Gateway Arch is right there in the right-hand side, which is a national monument. Very cool place to go and visit. We are located in a neighborhood called Central West End, which isn't too far from the Arch in downtown. This is a little aerial picture of Central West End, and we're off to the right-hand side. Is that what our campus is? And then here is a picture I actually took from the 3rd floor of our academic research building. And we're looking at our student center, which the top 3 floors are dorms for our first year students and our 2nd year students. And then these are what the dorms look like inside. And I always say, you know, these are not Photoshop. They actually look this nice. And I'm always super jealous of the students who live on our campus. So that's those photos of our campus, but a little bit more about us. We're a pretty small school. We have a little under 1,000 students right now. And that just means that our student faculty ratio is also pretty small, so 10 to 1. So class sizes generally do not get much bigger than 10 students, 15 students at the most. So you get that individualized focus in our classroom setting. Our first year student profile academically looks a little bit like 24 to 29 ACT score. If you have SAT, the equivalent would be 1150 to 1350 around there. And then the average GPA is 3.69. And then we have 14 undergraduate majors right now. We just added a couple new ones recently. You'll notice that some of them have a little asterisk after, and those ones are still pending accreditation with the Higher Learning Commission. So we're hoping for those programs to join our ranks in the coming months. And they have been slowly but surely joining us. Biochemistry and biopsychology just recently got approved. But we have pathways into medicine, nursing, pharmacy, of course, which we've been doing for a long time, and even some new degrees in neuroscience and exercise physiology that are being very popular right now. We also have some graduate studies and advanced opportunities. We have 2 master's programs, one in global health and equity and the other in medicinal chemistry. And then our advanced opportunities include a dental medicine program in partnership with A.T. Still University, Missouri School of Dentistry. And then we also have a couple programs in OT and PT in partnership with Washington University School of Medicine. So like I had mentioned before, we've been doing pharmacy for kind of a long time, 150 plus years. So we have a few pathways for undergraduate students to get that professional degree, which are the 6-year program and the 7-year program. So a little bit about our student support. So the best thing about being a small school is that you get that individualized focus. And you get that student support. So we have some academic support with advising and coaching. We also have peer tutoring available to students. And then we have our writing center and our career services center for any additional support you need in resume help or in writing a paper for class. We also have a counseling center with free counseling for our students, and then a international student and scholar support center and an office of diversity and inclusion. So the fun part of our campus is our athletics. We are NAIA, and those are all of our teams right there on the left-hand side. So we just also added a couple more teams to our ranks, including men's baseball, and then down those are our new teams. So if you play any of those teams, let me know. I can always connect you with a coach. And you get to play while you're in college, and there are some scholarships available to you also. But if you're not into sports, we also have 60 plus student organizations on campus that you can join. Some of those are listed, like the American Sign Language Club. We have some intramural and club sports available, a performing arts center, and some community service opportunities as well. So a little bit about the application. We have no application fees. You can go through Common App as well to apply. There might be fees associated with Common App, but if you go through our website, absolutely, you will not be paying anything to submit an application with us. We have a holistic review process, and we are test optional starting this year, but going forward, we don't plan on changing that. So I mentioned those test scores. So you can add a ACT or SAT's test score into your application, but you do not have to, but we'll take it into consideration if you want us to. And then for early decision, our deadline is December 1st, and then regular decision, it's March 1st. So this is a little QR code that you can scan for our preview day on November 4th. And this is a QR code to scan to connect with us. And I'll put my information in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Our next presenter is from Washington College.
Hello, everybody. Share my screen. All right, so Washington College is a small private liberal arts college in Maryland. We're over on the eastern shore of the Chesapeake Bay watershed. Chestertown is a small town in a pretty rural area, but near some pretty big cities. We're about an hour and a half to 2 hours from pretty much anywhere in DC, Baltimore, and Philly. Because of that, we have a lot of different internship opportunities in those places, partnerships with places like the Smithsonian, Library of Congress, National Aquarium, a lot of places like that. We have 3 campuses. So The main campus is what you're seeing right now. This is what you think of when you think of a typical college campus. The other two are involved pretty heavily in environmental science. So the River and Field campus is 5,000 acres of natural land, different ecosystems for internships and research for students. The Waterfront campus also has our environmental research facility, as well as our boathouse. So students can take out, once they pass the swim test, they can take out boats on the river. So we are on the Chester River, so which is a tributary to the Chesapeake Bay, about a 5-minute drive, 10 to 15-minute walk from there. So some statistics. We have about 1,100 students from 11 different countries. 3% are international students, and about a quarter of students identify as students of color. So because we're so small, we have a 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio and an average class size of 12. We also have 99% of our faculty with terminal degrees in their field. So you know that you're getting a really quality experience. We also have no graduate students, so you won't have any teaching assistants teaching classes. It's always going to be that professor. You'll probably have them multiple times and develop a really close connection. We have 80+ student-run clubs and organizations. Some of those are things like honor societies for your major, fraternities, sororities, club and intramural sports, Student Government Association, Outdoor Adventure Club, things like that based on interest. So hopefully within all this, something for everybody. We have 68% of students conducting an internship. A lot of the students will do more than one. We're really big on experiential learning, getting people out of the classroom and applying what they're learning in the classroom. We also have 90% of students from the class of 2019 have either been employed or they were continuing their education within 9 months of graduation. So these two are helped a lot by the Center for Career Development. Here are all our majors, minors, concentrations, and everything. We are a liberal arts college, so you won't be able to just take classes within your major. You'll have distribution requirements, or you might have heard them called gen eds. In terms of pre-health professions, we have different advisors for all of them. So pre-allied health professions, pre-medical, pre-nursing, pre-pharmacy. We also have pre-vet. So we also have a 3+2 nursing program with University of Maryland. So you can get the small school opportunities and the big school opportunities. At Washington College, we have something called the Washington College Standard, which is 5 pillars that sort of underlie our education. The first one is the written word. So it's a great place for people who want to be writers. We're able to invite a lot of authors to speak. People like Toni Morrison, Lemony Snicket, Edward Albee. Anyone else who doesn't necessarily want to be a writer will still graduate with proficiency in writing. So you'll take a writing intensive class every year leading up to your senior capstone experience, which is an example of heavy writing in your major, probably about 30 to 50 pages. So essentially a graduate level thesis in an undergraduate environment. Speaking of environment, environmental action is also a big thing for us. So like I said, we have a lot of facilities for that, being on the Chesapeake Bay. For anybody else who is not necessarily interested in studying it, many people still take that classes in environmental science for distribution classes. You'll benefit from our 100% green energy that we have. People might enjoy walking to the permaculture garden, learning how to forage, how to compost, things like that. So it's a pretty big part of our culture. History informing the future is a big thing for us too. We have a lot of history. We were founded in 1782. So we are the oldest college in Maryland, the 10th oldest in the country, and the first college chartered in the sovereign United States after the Declaration of Independence. So George Washington actually helped found us. He gave some money, he gave his signature, which you'll probably see everywhere. And he sat on our first board of visitors and governors. So he sort of was one of the people who made decisions here, which not very many colleges can say. Learning without limits is another big thing for us. So like I said, getting people out of the classroom into internships, study abroad, getting them into field work and that kind of thing is going to be really important for us. And then meaningful connections. I find that people you're with can sometimes make or break an experience. So it's always good to get to know the people you're with, and you'll know them pretty well here because it's small. Like to say, it's big enough to never know everybody, but it's small enough you always know somebody. Maybe you walk into class the first day, you don't know a single person in the class, you don't know the professor. You're going to get to know them pretty well, and they develop really strong connections. So, for example, the philosophy club meets at Sunday mornings downtown, one of the coffee shops downtown with the professors. So that's what they want to be doing on their day off, is talking to students. Here are some of our deadlines. So the top deadline is your deadline to get your application in, and the bottom deadline is our deadline for getting your notification back to you. So you'll have your, whether or not you're admitted, and you'll have your financial aid package on that same day. So notification is rolling, so you'll typically know within a month of applying whether you're admitted or not. A couple of good things to know too, we have no application fee, we are test optional, and we have been for quite a while, and we use the Common App, sorry. So there's no preference for students who use the Common App versus not, and it is a little bit easier for everybody. In terms of scholarships, we offer up to $35,000 a year in merit-based aid and other interest-based scholarships beyond that. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Keegan. Our next presenter is from Loyola University, New Orleans.
Thank you, Jasmine. And here we go. I'm Gloria Hill. I am actually, as you can see in my label, the Assistant Director of Admissions for the College of Music and Media, actually. I'm filling in for my friend Ricky Alarcon, who represents California. And I told him I would love to cover for you tonight because I love the West Coast. So here I am. And my presentation is going to be very much about health, pre-health, because that's what I thought we were going to talk about today. So any of those application questions that you need answered, I want you to go to our website and look at them all there. I'll tell you a little bit about our application stuff though. Please find yourself in New Orleans. There are 4 Loyola universities in the country, but we're the one in New Orleans, and we're the smallest, and we're the youngest. This is our beautiful campus, and to the left, that is a streetcar. Don't know if you know this, but streetcars are they're historic landmarks. So that's cool. Come and ride one. Please meet Loyola. Oh goodness gracious. Please meet Loyola. We are a liberal arts institution. We are a Catholic institution, and we are very small. Not as small as the pharmacology school though. We are 3,223 undergraduates right now. Our graduate programs are very small. But we have no graduate programs on campus in health sciences. So you're going to get all of the attention that you want from our faculty when you're with us. Our student to faculty ratio is 12:1. We are located in the beautiful Uptown. We're located in Uptown, which means that the French Quarter is about 20 minutes away and the airport is a little less than 40 minutes away. All right, I have to brag about our recent incoming class of 2025. This was our largest class in the history of Loyola New Orleans, so we're really excited about that, 973. But the more important numbers are that 29% of our freshman class is first-generation college students. We love them so much and have programs for our first-gen students to get comfortable. We have faculty mentors, student mentors for our first-gen students. International, our Louisiana students are on the lower side. So what we want you to know is that Loyola New Orleans is a small and very diverse place where you will learn about many different kinds of people on a beautiful campus in incredible New Orleans. All right, we've got the College of Arts and Sciences, College of Business, and the College of Music and Media, my personal favorite. But I want to focus on the College of Arts and Sciences and the College of Nursing for this presentation. So within the College of Arts and Sciences, we have those natural and applied sciences, biology, chemistry, physics, psychology, neuroscience. We've got nursing, public health, and all of those things. This is the college where you're going to get that pre-health degree that you're looking for. Again, we do not have any grad students in this particular college. So the woman on the left in the glasses is your teacher. That's Rosalie Anderson. She is actually the pre-health advisor for anyone looking to go to med school or veterinary school. And you'll be working right with her. She's going to be writing your letters of recommendation. She's wonderful. I hope while I was talking, you were able to read over some of the cool facilities that we have and the different research opportunities that we have going on at Loyola. Again, all of these are yours to participate in. The most important thing about college, I hope you know, is that the city that you live in is also your classroom. If anyone in this presentation has not been to New Orleans, whether or not you plan on attending Loyola or even applying to Loyola, you must come and visit us. You must eat the food, smell the smells, some of them good, some of them bad, and it's all okay. But New Orleans is your classroom as a pre-health major in the sense that we have so many hospitals, Ochsner, Toro, Children's. We've got wonderful connections with our small community. So your internships and your navigating your way in the health world all happens here. And it's a colorful place to do all of that. Again, I want you to visit Loyola New Orleans. I live only a few minutes away from campus, so you might see me. I might be there. If you can't make it to campus in person this year, we have some very cool virtual tours that you can do. So definitely do that. The last thing that I wanted to tell you is, of course, get in touch with us. If you want to talk with me some more, I'm Gloria, but Ricky is your point person. And I just wanted to say that when I prepared for this presentation, I thought of three incredible people who I knew very well. Chloe, who is now in veterinary school. Cullen, who went to school with me. He was a double major in vocal performance and pre-health, and he is now at Georgetown Medical School. And then my friend Lauren is, she's going to be an ophthalmologist. So all of the, whatever you want to do in a health field, we will make that happen for you at Loyola with our advisors and our one-on-one attention. That's all I've got for you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Gloria. Our next presenter is from Newcastle University.
Thank you very much. My name is Thomas. I work for Newcastle University, and as you can hear from my accent, I am not American or based in the US. I am in England. We are based in the city of Newcastle upon Tyne, which is there where the red dot is on the northeast coast of England. And just to give you an idea, London is the star in the southeast there. We're just under 3 hours away from London by train, or just under an hour flight. We're also very well connected to most other major cities in the UK. And just 20 minutes from our campus, we have an international airport. And from there, you can fly to 80 different destinations across Europe and the Middle East. Newcastle is one of the best and most well-known student cities in the UK, and also a top 50 global student city as well. It's also one of the most affordable places to study in the UK, and it's very lively. There's lots to do and see, but it's still quite compact. You can get around most of the city centre on foot. We have some wonderful nature that surrounds us to the north, west, and south. And out to the east, we have fantastic coastline and some wonderful beaches. You can go from campus to the beach in just 20 minutes by metro. And that is just some of the pictures of the lovely surrounds that you can experience, the wonderful architecture in the city centre, the castles that we have in the northeast region. In fact, the northeast has more castles than any other region of England. Our campus is located at the heart of the city, but still does have a nice campus feel, so you get the best of both worlds. Most of our teaching buildings are located in one of those two gold shapes there in the bottom left and right. And also most of our accommodation is also located on campus, even though we are based in the city centre. And the city centre there is highlighted in the grey rectangle shape, so you can see how close we are to the city while still having that nice campus feel. That is the heart of our campus, the Student Union building there in the foreground. Our history dates back to the 1830s, so we are quite an old university, and that is reflected in some of our lovely old buildings. But we do have lots of modern buildings on campus as well, including the National Centre for Data and Innovation, which is the top left building there, also known as the Catalyst. In terms of our reputation, we are a global top 150 university. What that means is in the global rankings, we outrank UC Santa Barbara, UC Irvine, Texas A&M, Pittsburgh, Dartmouth, Vanderbilt, Arizona State, UMass Amherst, Tufts, Northeastern, and Georgetown, amongst other US institutions and other global institutions. And in the UK, we're in a top 20 university. 13 of our subjects are actually ranked in the top 10 in the UK, including agriculture, speech and language therapy, dentistry, creative writing, food science, psychology, linguistics, and sports science, amongst others. We're also a founding member of something called the Russell Group, which is very similar to the Ivy League in the UK and includes Oxford and Cambridge. We're one of the most targeted universities in the UK, and we have a 95% graduates either in work or further study after 6 months. In terms of our academics, we have around 27,000 students studying on 200 different bachelor's degrees and 300 different master's and PhD programs across our 3 faculties. And I'm just going to focus on the medical sciences faculty for you today, just to give you an example of some of the programs that we offer in the medical sciences faculty. We have a bachelor's in food and human nutrition. We have a sport and exercise science bachelor's, and we have a bachelor's in pharmacology. Those examples there are either types of jobs that you could do or industries that you could go into. All of those degrees, for example, could lead to you getting a job at somewhere like Lululemon as a research scientist. One of the other things I really wanted to point out was that in the UK, medicine, veterinary science, dentistry are all bachelor degrees. They're all studied straight out of high school, so very different to the US. Essentially, if you want to become a doctor, you would do a 5-year bachelor's degree, and then you would do 2 years of what we call foundation training, which is basically the same as doing the residency in the US. You can actually swap that 2-year foundation training in the UK for a residency in America. And we have had US students do that before. So essentially it means that 7 years out of high school and you can be working as a doctor. So obviously much faster than if you have to do a bachelor's degree and then go on to med school. In terms of how you would do that at Newcastle, well, you would first of all need to take what's called the UCAT, which is a medical exam before you apply. So you'd normally take it in the summer after your junior year of high school. You would then also need to either have already taken or be taking at least 3 APs and be on track to get 5s in those if you haven't already achieved them. And then we would also interview you. We do only have places for 27 international students on our medical program. So it's very competitive, but as you can see, tuition wise, it works out about the same as US medical school, but don't forget, you haven't had to also pay for a bachelor's degree prior to doing this. For our other programs, we aren't test optional, but we're test flexible. So whilst we would like to see APs from you, again, 3 APs, we will accept enrollment credits, dual enrollment credits, honors classes, etc. Lots of information on our website, and also get in touch with me if you don't understand those. In terms of tuition fees for other programs, not including medicine, it's roughly around about $40,000 a year for tuition, room, and board. And compare that to a similar university in the US, it's almost double the price. But we do still have scholarships available, and you can also use federal and private loans to help cover your fees and your living costs. If you'd like to find out more, we've got lots of information on our website. Our YouTube channel is fantastic. We have open houses in person or online, and you can also get in touch with me. My email address is there on the screen, or if you scan that QR code, it will take you through to a sign-up sheet to get more information from us throughout the year. I hope that was helpful, and thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Thomas, and thank you to all of our presenters. This concludes the presentation portion of our session today, but now we're going to transition to the Q&A. I want to encourage all of our presenters to return. Feel free to turn your cameras on, and I will pose a question to the group. Our presenters will respond to the question in the order in which they presented. First question: what is one thing you want students to remember about your institution?
I think it's really important for people to remember that we are located on the East Coast, right on the water on the Atlantic Ocean. So certainly a unique and different experience than probably what you've grown up with. And going to the East Coast, you get all 4 seasons. So it's a beautiful kind of change of pace. So that's one thing I'd love for you to remember.
One thing that I would love you to remember about WNJ is that we have open doors. If you want to talk to a professor, if you want to talk to a counselor, a student, someone in dining, whoever it is on campus you want to talk to, please get in touch with us. You're always going to be able to talk to someone, and that's the best way to get to know the school that you're interested in, is to talk to the people that are currently working there, studying there. We want to be completely open with you. So reach out to us, but always know that if you reach out to someone, you will get answers and you will form relationships and good connections, whether or not you do decide to come to WNJ.
So for University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy, what I would like you to remember about us is that we are a very much focused school. So all of our majors have that healthcare lens to it. So you're never going to be in a history class and wondering, why am I learning this? It all goes back to what you want to do and to your future career, which is definitely a very unique part about us. So
Something to remember about Washington College is that we are on the East Coast also. So being so close to DC, Baltimore, and Philly really triples your opportunities. And because we're pretty old, we have had a lot of time to develop those relationships with different organizations, and professors have had time to develop those with different people in all these places. So you have plenty of opportunities to get hands-on learning experience.
I would love for you all to remember that we are Loyola, New Orleans, and that you hear lots of things about New Orleans in the news. The things that are true are that we are colorful, we have wonderful food, everyone is a family member. So we're always saying hi to you, no matter who you are. And yeah, that's how we are on Loyola's campus as well. We're just a reflection of the city.
And one thing I would like to remember about Newcastle is, especially for those of you interested in health sciences, our medical school is physically connected to the main hospital that is in Newcastle. It's called the Royal Victoria Infirmary. It's actually one of the top 60 best hospitals in the world as well. So it's a fantastic opportunity to be surrounded by real life patients, real life doctors, and to have that hands-on experience from the moment that you step onto campus.
Thank you all for sharing. So that concludes our virtual college fair for today. But I do have a few closing announcements. As you exit from this Zoom session, a survey will appear. It's approximately 5 questions, but please complete the survey. It's extremely helpful as we aim to improve our virtual college fair offerings. I also want to remind you that you can sign up for additional sessions by visiting our registration site. And again, you can access this recording by visiting strivescan.com/COSI. I want to thank our amazing presenters for joining me, but also thank you to all of our attendees. I hope everyone has a great evening.